Tonight on the HPT, we're at Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor in Black Hawk, Colorado, where a field of 496 entrants generated a prize pool of over $700,000. Going out in ninth place was Vancouver, Washington native Carl Oman. Under the gun with ace-8 of diamonds, Carl raised to $80,000. With action folded to Paul on the 8th seat, he looks down and sees not one, but two aces. He makes it $250 to go. Carl shoves all in and is quickly called by Paul. The flop, 2 kings and a jack, no help for Carl. The turn card was the 8 of clubs, pairing Carl's 8. Needing an 8 on the river to stay alive, he got the 10 of diamonds instead, and Carl was eliminated in 9th place, taking home just over $14,000. Tonight's 8th place finisher was Minneapolis, Minnesota native Rich Alsup. With ace-queen of clubs in late position, Rich raised and was called by chip leader Wendy and her 10 deuce of spades from the big blind. The flop was ace-king 4, 2 spades, top pair for Rich, flush draw for Wendy. Wendy checks, Rich bets, Wendy shoves, and Rich makes the call. The turn card, it was the 7 of spades. Wendy makes her flush, and a meaningless jack of clubs hits the river, and Rich was out of the tournament as our 8th place finisher. He'll go home with just over $18,000. And finally, our 7th place finisher was someone you might recognize. He's former HPT Player of the Year, second on the HPT all-time money list, and making his 12th HPT televised final table, Mr. Shawn Roberts. In late position, Shawn shoved all in with his ace-9 off and was called by Alex and his ace-7 off from the big. The flop, king 10 deuce, all hearts. The turn card was the 7 of diamonds. Alex pulls into the lead, and now Shawn needs to see a 9 on the river or he will be eliminated. And that river card was the 5 of hearts. Alex eliminates Shawn. He goes out in 7th place and goes home with just over $22,000. All right, folks, we've got 6 players remaining and more than $400,000 to award, and it all starts right now.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson, and as always, joined by poker professional and coach, Mr. Kenneth James. And this week, we're back in black.
That's right, Black Hawk, Colorado, the Golden Gates Poker Parlor and Casino. Great to be here in the mountains always.
Yeah, and always a huge prize pool. This week, just over $729,000, and 6 players remain.
Yeah, and a lot of great players on the felt tonight. Leading the pack is Wendy Freedman, a Las Vegas professional with just under $1 million in tournament winnings. But who is she followed up by? Alex Greenblatt. He won this event last year, and we can't forget about an HPT final tableist in the past, Corey ZEDO.
Well, we've got a total of 6 players at this nationally televised final table, so we should go ahead and meet them all, and most importantly, take a look at the cash.
Up top, over 167,000 cheeseburgers on down to 6th place, 27,342.
Looking at the chip count there, you see Wendy with 4.160. Alex, Mark, Corey, Paul, and Chris rounding out the group. So happy to be back here. Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor. Been coming out here for a lot of years now.
Yes,
a lot of years. And I'll tell you what, our 27th HPT event, the first one back in 2007. The action, I don't know how this happens. It gets hotter and heavier every year we show up.
But not the air. The air is light up here, boy.
Yeah,
I tell you, here in
that.
the mountains, it's beautiful. As we look at our players here, Paul right here on the button blinds at 30 and 60,000 with the 60K ante. He's going to raise it up to 150,000 with King Jack.
Alex gets out of the way, and now we move on to Mark here in the big blind. He's going to make the call and protect pocket ducks. No reason not to in that situation as we go heads up to the flop. And 2 6s and a tray are the first cards we see tonight here on the HPT.
Mark checks it over to Paul. This is common when you're the pre-flop caller to check to the raiser. If he should bet there, we call that a donk bet. He elects not to do it. Looks like he's probably going to bluff catch here. You're in front of way too many hands not to call here. You're ahead of hands like ace-king, ace-queen, king-queen. You know, those Broadway hands, all those raising hands. So he does call to peel a turn card. To the turn we go.
And the turn card is the 5 of spades. Action over to Mark. And
ooh, Did you see
Wow,
that?
it looked like he was going to shove them all in the middle.
You know, that usually, to me, when I'm watching that, is a sign of weakness. It's a tell. When somebody goes to grab for their chips but they check, it's a sign that they don't want you to bet. So they're kind of feigning a punch at you. And I usually go ahead and bet in that spot. Let's see if Paul picks that up. He doesn't, and he checks.
So Paul makes the check. To the river card we go. It's the 9 of diamonds. The check mark goes Mark's way. He can't lose unless he folds. He's cutting out chips here to make a bet.
Now, I'm not sure if this is a blocking bet or a value bet. I really don't like the bet here because there's not many hands that are going to call you that you beat. Maybe he gets called by ace high. Paul sensing something's not right about this hand. Maybe he's thinking that his opponent Mark is on a flush draw and his king high is good.
Paul was born and raised in Manchester, England, 49 years old, lives in California now. And look at this. Those are raisin chips, my friend.
Yeah, he senses that Mark's bet is weak, and he's going to put him to the test right here, right now.
Well, first hand of the night. And we're already seeing some big action here in the mountains of Blackhawk.
Yeah, those ducks are going to shrivel up like going into a ice-cold pond on a winter day. Is he going to be able to call this off? I don't think so.
It looks like he's trying to get a read there on his opponent as he puts the chips in front. He hasn't crossed that line of demarcation yet.
Demarcation. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
And he's going to make the call.
Look at this.
Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And he's going to see the good news as Paul flips over his king jack. And just like that, we're off to the races here on the HPT as we broadcast from Blackhawk, Colorado. We'll be back with more right after these words. Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson, my name, alongside Kenneth James. Wendy Freedman leading the pack here with about 29% of the chips in play. And Ken, I want to point this out. Blinds 30,000, 60,000, of course, with just one ante, that being the big blind ante of 60,000.
That's going to put a lot of heat on this guy, Paul Richardson, who's failed bluff attempt in that first hand, looks down, I think once again at King Jack. He loves this hand. This time it's suited. 7 big blinds is the standard. He moves all in. He's going to try and get this through. You're looking at Wendy Freedman, Las Vegas pro, who I've played a lot of poker with over the years, James.
Yeah, 3 previous cashes here on the HPT. Her best finish, 4th in Fresno, California. And she's got total career winnings of over $935,000 and trying to eliminate a player here at this HPT final table. Ace-5, a slight favorite, going up against the suited King Jack.
To the flop we go.
And the flop, 2 queens and a 5.
Favorable for Wendy.
Little smile there by Wendy. She likes that flop. Let's go to that turn card now. It's the deuce of hearts. So one more street here for Wendy to sweat. And if Paul doesn't improve, he will be eliminated, going out in 6th place.
To the river we go.
And the river card is the king of diamonds. So Paul squeezes that king there on the river, and he's going to double up a pot of over 900,000 chips.
Just like that final juice coming out of an orange in the morning. He squeezed it out of there, and he survives.
All right, like I said, great to be back here at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor. 18 casinos up here in the mountains of Blackhawk. And this is the place to go for tournament poker right here. Like I said, we've been coming here for a lot of years, going way back to 2007.
Now Wendy Freedman, after losing that last hand, right back at it. She raises with pocket 9s. Ooh, this will be interesting.
Yeah, you see 9s there for Wendy. And Chris, he wakes up with a pocket pair, pocket 8s.
Yeah, it's 16-1 to be delta pair. So when you're delta pair and there's only 6 players at the table, you figure you have the best hand, and that's what Chris figures as he moves all in. It's not going to work. He's snapped by Wendy.
Yeah, and he's going to see here that he's going to have to improve, otherwise his tournament dreams will be over here at the Golden Gates Casino in Black Hawk, Colorado.
Never fun when your dreams are hanging on 18% equity. But you never know what the deck's going to bring. So to the flop we go.
And 2 7s and an ace come out on the flop. Wendy maintains her lead in the hand.
Significant favorite at 91% now.
And that is the ace of clubs on the turn. So now for Chris, he's going to need to catch an 8 or a 7 for the chop, or he will be eliminated, going out in 6th place.
To the river we go.
And the river card is not to be for Chris. That will do it for him. The 32-year-old from Hartford, Connecticut, he'll be eliminated, but going out with a nice little payday, $27,342.
Yeah, he's made his way all the way through this massive field to the final table. Congratulations on a well-played tournament.
All right, so just like that, 5 players remain. And Ken, I've got to ask you the toughest question. If you had to pick a horse in the race, who you going with, my friend?
Friedman. Man, I played a lot of poker with this girl, and she is tough, man. You never know where she's at. She's always putting heat on you. She's always defending. She knows her values. Really tough player.
And I was at that HPT final table in Fresno, California, where she got close, a 4th place finish. And I know she talked about it earlier this week. She wants to improve on that. Who wouldn't want to? You see, Paul goes all in with his pocket 4s.
Yeah, we said, it's 16-1 to be dealt a pair, so you figure your hand is best. But he's going to be in a coin flip situation as Mark makes the call with big slick, ace-king.
You know what they say, to win a tournament like this, you've got to win your coin flips. And throughout the 3 days, there can be 10, 11, 12 of these situations where you're ahead with pocket 4s going up against 2 big monsters,
yes,
the 2 biggest cards in the deck, and you've got to fade those aces and those kings and those Broadway draws and come out on top to win a tournament.
And here we go to the flop. Queen, queen, 7. So Paul's still in front. But you still see it's close because the board could double pair here with the 7. And he would counterfeit his pair. So a lot of cards yet to dodge for Paul to stick in this tournament. To the turn we go.
And the turn card is the 5 of hearts. So far, so good. Paul needs to avoid an ace, king, a 7, or a 5. I think I named them all. You gotta dodge some stuff there, Paulie.
Dancing between the raindrops, as we like to say. To the river we go.
And the river card is the 8 of hearts. And Paul did it. He won the hand, and he will continue his quest to be our newest HPT champion. Well, look, folks, we got to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll continue 5-handed poker right here in Black Hawk, Colorado at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor. We're in the mountains of Black Hawk, Colorado this week. I'm James Larson alongside Kenneth James, and you saw our chip counts there. Wendy Friedman trying to go wire to wire tonight on the HPT. And talk about that first place money. You like to talk in cheeseburgers. Well, the cash itself, the cash is $167,696. So if you're on the dollar menu, I guess you can put that directly into that
over
many cheeseburgers.
167,000 cheeseburgers is what I like to say.
He's always thinking about food, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what it is about this guy.
Well, to keep this girlish figure that I have,
course,
all my dimensions,
exactly.
That it doesn't get there by eating salad.
All right, well, Corey's going to raise it up to $140,000. Fold it around to a friend of ours here on the HPT, Alex Greenblatt. You talk about success. He's been around for a while with us here, playing a lot of events. He won this event here back in September of 2017. He's sneaky good, Alex. He's sneaky good. He's quiet, and he's fun to have at the poker table as he makes the call there with ace-9.
This is a hand that could get you in danger if you flop an ace and flop second best. But on this flop, he flops top pair. Now, this will be interesting, James. Will he go for some value or check and try and get his value from bluff catching against Corey? But nope, Corey's not going for it. He checks it back.
All right, well, let's go to the turn card now, and it's the ace of hearts. So now things are really going to get interesting.
Yeah, Alex. Now 2 pair, but this pairs the pre-flop raiser. Alex showing patience, putting the line out in the water.
I like it. And now Corey figuring out, all right, how many chips should I put in the middle? And he's going to make a bet of $150,000. Now, what do you want Alex to do here?
I'd like raising here. You want to seize value from flush and straight draws, but he is really playing possum here. Just calls.
And look at that. Fills up his boat there with the 9 of diamonds on the river.
Yeah, see, but now this brings a possible flush out there, and now he runs the risk of getting no value on the river. But it looks like he is going to. Corey's going to fire again.
Now, should Corey really be value betting here with the board pairing and the flush getting there?
Good point, James. You know, it's really making a weak, thin value bet. And now you get opened up to being raised as Alex moves all in here. Can't see where Corey would call here.
And Corey's going to release his hand, and Alex Greenblatt is going to win the hand here. And he's a guy you really don't want to give more chips to, especially with his resume here on the HPT. I believe this is his 5th final table, 5th or 6th. He won it back in 2017. That was September at Golden Gates, and he's just had a lot of success. We see him quite a bit here on the HPT. All right, action over to Wendy in the 5 seat.
Yeah. She's biding her time. She's still got deep stacks there. I expect her to really pick her spots really well. Now, this man, Paul Richardson, he's been hanging around. He has this conservative appearance, outward appearance, but he is aggressive, man. And here he's moving all in with ace deuce.
And action over to Alex Greenblatt here on the button.
Waiting to see what Alex is considering.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what he's holding there, too. Ace 8.
Wow, this is a tough spot. This really goes to a player read. If you think your player is shoving light, you're going to call. But this is a dicey spot because he could easily be dominated by hands like ace 9, ace 10, ace jack. But he does. Actually, he moves all in.
Wow.
He re-raises all in, which now puts additional pressure on his opponents behind. I like this play rather than smooth calling. And look at Mark with ace jack.
Yeah, Mark's got a hand too, and he really wanted to make the call, but he decides not after the re-raise. And as they flip over the cards, he's going to be thinking, man, I would have been in the lead. Of course, talking about Mark Morris, but in the lead right now is Alex. His ace 8 going up against Paul's ace deuce. If Paul does not improve his hand, he will be eliminated, going out in 5th place.
Well, he's been down this road before. He's doubled up to stay in this tournament, so he's got experience on his side, even though it's a tall mountain to climb, as we like to say. To the flop we go.
To the flop we go is right, and it comes out 9 trey deuce. So Paul catches that duck.
Quack, quack. To the turn we go.
And it's the 4 of hearts on the turn, so now the 5 will chop for both. And if Alex hits an 8, he can eliminate Paul. Otherwise, he's going to double up. And the river card is the 7 of diamonds. So Paul says, yeah, I'll take that pot of just over 2.2 million chips.
And Paul doubling up for the 3rd time as they reconcile the chips.
All right, you're watching exclusive coverage of the HPT right here at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor in beautiful Black Hawk, Colorado. I'm James Larson alongside Mr. Kenneth James.
Looking at our blimp cam there, you see the massive chip stack of Wendy Freedman. And if you're just joining us, those red chips, 5K apiece, the green, 25K. The white ones, those are the big daddies, 100,000 each one of those.
Our 27th HPT event here at Golden Gates, and I just want to say thank you to everybody here at the property, and of course all the players for supporting this event and making just an awesome time for us and all the players. A prize pool of just over $729,000.
Now Alex quickly moving all in and called by Mark with pocket queens. And Alex just down to $755,000, under 10 bigs. This is standard.
Yeah, Alex looking for a little help, obviously, here as we go to the flop. Queens up against King Jack.
Oh, my, and there it is. Top set for Mark.
Wow.
But how about Alex? He's right in this. Open-ended straight and a flush draw. Man, what a dynamic flop. To the turn we go. Oh, that's it. It's over. He's drawing dead. Alex is drawing dead.
Yeah, just like that, Mark makes a full house. Alex going to go home with fifth-place money, $35,362. And when we come back, your final four will play it out for the HPT title. Welcome back to the HPT. I'm James Larson alongside Ken and James. And Wendy Freedman, she's been leading this final table ever since we got on the air about a half hour ago.
Yeah, well, she's trying to go wire to wire as she peeks down. Now at pocket eights. Nice hand. I expect her to open up with a standard raise here. Look at those chips.
Yeah, she's got quite a few chips there, and you really haven't seen a whole lot of mistakes out of Wendy. And also, when the cards weren't coming her way, you saw her just release those into the middle and not try to make something out of nothing. But look at this. Pocket rockets, ladies and gentlemen.
The angels, as they're also called, or the peaks. Sometimes the valleys when they get sucked out on. Ooh, look at this. Corey double checking his cards. Now, that's a tell. That can be a tell.
How is
when
that
somebody,
a tell?
Well, because they're acting weak. Like, let me recheck my cards, and especially if it's followed up by strength. So if he looks like he's double checking and then comes back with a strong move, that's a tell of strength.
Because you know when you look down at two red aces.
Yeah, you don't have to look twice.
You don't have to look twice. When it's 7-4 or maybe a 9 tray. But when you've got two red aces, great point, my friend. And, you know, that's so important in the game of poker to not only play your cards and your opponent, but watch all of those reads. And look at this.
And see, Wendy didn't see that, or she didn't interpret it, and she moves all in thinking that her pair is good when, in fact, she's only going to have about 20% equity going forward.
Let's not forget, Wendy Freedman, not a ton of HPT experience, but has over 140 cashes listed on her Hendon Mob profile.
Just under 1 million.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this is one tough competitor, but she's going to need to get lucky here.
All right, aces going up against eights. And look at that, right in the window is the 8 of spades. Wendy just flopped a full house.
Oh, my God, I'm telling you. Wow. Now Corey in the hot seat. He's going to need one of the last two aces. Not happening on the turn.
Queen of clubs there on the turn. So Corey's going to need one of those remaining aces, like Kenneth said. Otherwise, he will be eliminated. Let's go to the river card. And it's the Queen of Diamonds. And Wendy outflops her opponent. Corey obviously not happy about it. Going home with fourth place money, $47,247. And yes, Kenna, it does happen. Aces get cracked, but that's never a way you want to exit a tournament, especially one on national television for thousands of dollars.
And looking down from the HPT blimp now, did you see Wendy's chip stack there? Yeah. Holy cow.
The table is leaning a little bit here. Paul, though, Paul's got a hand, pocket jacks.
Wow, boy, I tell you, it's so funny. There's an interesting dynamic to this poker where when you get down to it, these players have run well, played well over a few days, and these good hands gravitate to the final table, and you tend to see them more than you normally would in the beginning part of a tournament. So here Paul now with pocket jacks. He needs a good hand. He finds a good hand. He raises it to $300,000 over to Mark. Looks like he's going to set mine with crabs, pocket threes. And Wendy's in there with queen jack, so we have a three-way to the flop.
It's a family affair here. Jacks, trays, and queen jack. And look at that. Wendy outflops everybody. Queen, 8-10, couple of clubs.
Wow, she's playing well. She's running well. Look at this. I like her checking here, too.
Paul says all in. Mark folds over to Wendy.
Oh, man.
All in
and
by
Wendy
Paul.
quickly calls.
Yeah, Wendy likes this, and Paul's thinking, oh, I've heard this story about jacks before. It's happened to other people, but it's never happened to me. I love Wendy's demeanor at this final table.
Yeah, she's just all about business, right?
Business, tough to read, playing very well. And also catching some cards, which we all know you have to do to become a champion, as once again, she outflops her opponent.
Yeah, now Paul's going to need to catch some cards. One of the remaining nines will give him the straight or a jack. Very unlikely, only 3%. To the turn we go.
And the turn card.
Just I say it in there. Oh, my goodness.
The jack of clubs. Now, keep in mind, Wendy has two pair and the flush draw.
Still in the hand of the river we go.
and it's a blank.
Eight of spades, and Paul's gonna double up here. Jack
Ooh
full of
is
spades.
right. That's what Wendy's saying. And now Paul is going to double up once again. That's like number 4.
Yeah, it's impossible to get this guy out of the tournament. He starts scratching your head. He's got such determination and a few lucky turn cards.
Yeah, in poker, you want that skill, but of course, a little luck never hurt anybody. James Larson, my name, alongside Ken and James, as we broadcast from the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor.
250.
All right, now Wendy's going to raise it up with ace-7, but Paul's got another hand here on the short stack. He's got pocket 7s. Do you expect a shove here from Paulie?
Absolutely. You know, he's definitely on the short stack here. He's going to love it because Wendy's going to call.
Yeah, Wendy's definitely going to make this call with an ace in her hand.
Yeah, three-handed. She is taking her time, though. I like that. She's considering $1.6 million. You know, when you got those kind of chips, she says, let's go for it.
She's going to make the call, and she's going to see that she is behind, but she's got a ace-7 suited in spades here with a pot of just about a little under $4 million here. Boy, Paul really needs this one. A shot in the arm for him if his 7s can hold on. Let's go to the flop. And the cards come out, a jack and 2 10s. So far, so good for Paul. Just one spade comes out on the board.
Yeah, but now Wendy with a jack also would counterfeit, but not the 7. Holy cow, she even finds humor in that. Oh, the only 7 comes out. Paul doubles up yet again, James.
All right, well, listen, this guy, that's all he does is double up, and we'll see if he can continue that after this quick commercial break. Three-handed poker on the HPT returns right after this. Welcome back to the HPT. James and Kenna with you here. Your chip count. Wendy still on top of the board, trying to go wire to wire and take down this event here in Blackhawk, Colorado at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor.
And Paul Richardson there, he's in the cellar. He's the short stack, but he's not been going anywhere. Anytime he gets his chips in the middle, all in, he doubles up. So he's sticking around. There's Mark. He raises it to $250,000 with pocket 7s.
And we saw 7s on the hand before the commercial break. Paul was holding those. This time they move around to the small blind in Mark, and Wendy here looking to defend in the big blind with her 5 deuce of diamonds.
Yeah, you know, Wendy, you know, with this type of hand, it really is a factor of how many chips you have. And she's also, you know, protecting her big blind, but she has a chip stack to do it. Let's see how it pans out as we go to the flop. Oh, my.
Look at that. 6-4 tray. Wendy flops a straight.
Could you draw it up any better, especially with Mark with pocket 7s?
Turn card is the 4 of clubs. So Mark now with 7s and 4s. Wendy flops the straight. And Mark with a straight draw as well. He would have a higher straight if a 5 hits the board.
Wendy electing just to call. I'd prefer going for more value on the turn. See, this is a value killer when the flush card comes and an overcard comes.
Well, $700,000 and a quick call, and Wendy's going to win that pot of about 2.4 million chips.
Well, I said an action killer, but not for Wendy, as Mark pays it off and Wendy takes home the pot.
You know, it's always fun to talk about the money here on the HPT, especially this week. First place, almost $168,000. But you look at second and third, I mean, you're talking about $35,000 in a difference there. So we're playing for a lot here. Every single hand, every bet is so important as Wendy raises here with her King 7 up to $225,000.
Good point, James. Yeah, $100,000 difference between, you know, really 2 spots. So that puts a lot of pressure on these players. Wendy, raise, Paul calling with King Jack, and Mark. Everybody's got a king in this hand.
Yeah, and we go to the flop. Comes out Jack 8-4. It's a rainbow. So the best of it is Paul as he pairs his Jack.
Yeah, he's a dominant leader here. 92% equity here as we go to the turn.
Turn card is the tray of spades. So
Ooh,
Mark
look
improves his hand.
Now, this is going to get interesting. Mark could make a bluff here, but it's definitely not going to get by Paul, who's been slow playing his jack. Now going to go for value.
Paul bets 375,000, and Mark does make the call. And Wendy's going to get out of the way here, so it's heads up to the river. Paul and Mark with a pot of about 1.5 million chips, and the 7 of spades is the final card here on the river. So Paul with the check mark. We'll see what he decides to do. He's going to take the passive route, and he's going to check over to Mark. And now Mark reaching for chips.
Yeah, I think Paul is respecting that the flush came, possible flush on the river. So he's turned his hand into a bluff catcher. He also realizes extra value, but minimizes his loss when his opponent does have backed into the flush. But he's going to see he's read it right. He's played it perfect. And Paul, once again now, increasing his stack size and staying in this tournament.
And
well
if you
done.
look at the hand history here, Paul's been running pretty well with jacks, which a lot of people say there's only one way to play jacks. When they're pocket. Exactly. And we saw he won with pocket jacks. That time he pairs his jacks to win that hand. And Paul's just one of these players. The other two, a little frustrated probably because they just can't seem to get him out of the tournament.
Well, I'm not sure. Wendy doesn't look frustrated. She looks like she's all business, like the pro she is, navigating these chips, staying in the moment. I like the way she's executing. Those white chips, $100K a piece. She puts in a few of them, raises it to $340,000 with 10-8.
Almost a little bit of cruise control. Don't you see that? Which is that's the point you want to get to in your game. When you can get to that cruise control where just everything is going the way it's supposed to.
Right.
You're calm and cool. I mean, you can take all the classes you want. You can read all the books you want. But that's not an easy thing to accomplish, and she's doing it tonight.
Because it involves timing, and that's a feel-based thing. It's not just math. There's a lot of feel in poker. Feeling when you're in front, when you're behind, when you can put your foot on the gas, when you got to take it off.
Flop comes out ace-10 tray. As you see, Wendy pairs her 10.
She should put the foot on the gas here, continue with the lead, and I expect her to do so, and she will, probably about $350,000.
Her strategy hasn't really changed much throughout the course of this show. Have you noticed that too, where she started off as our chip leader? It's kind of slow and steady pretty much.
It really is. She's had some ups and downs with her chip stack and with the turn of the cards, but yet she has remained steady. It's a mark of a pro.
All right, let's go to that turn card. It's the Jack of Diamonds. Wendy still with the best hand here. Paul, though, could catch a king or a queen for a Broadway straight.
Yeah, now a jack puts another overcard to Wendy's pair, so she checks. I expect her to check and call here. Looks like Paul is cutting out some chips for a semi-bluff turn bet.
Paul's got to be careful. As you see, his stack getting smaller and smaller with every street here.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh,
Looks
wow.
like this bluff might get through, especially with Wendy showing that much emotion. Yep, it does. Wow, nice time bluff by Paul.
All right, we're seeing some great poker tonight here on the HPT as we broadcast from the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor. Time for a quick commercial break, but we'll be back with more exciting action. We started with just under 500 players, and now we are down to our final 3. It's James Larson alongside Ken and James. Wendy still leading the pack here, but never count out Mark or Paul.
It's getting tight in here. As you can see, her leads almost evaporated. These players now close in chips as we go to 60 and 120,000 in the blinds with a 60K big blind ante. She raises it up to 280,000 with ace-5. Standard and three-handed play.
And Wendy, we've talked about how great of a game she's played so far, but this guy to her left, a little thorn in her side here towards the end.
Good point.
Just kind of poking at her, She's had a few opportunities to take Paul out, but it just hasn't worked out very well.
No, he's a guy that brings flowers but brings roses with a lot of thorns.
Yeah, you're right about that, as he re-raises now to $850,000. So looks like $570,000 for Wendy to make this call.
This is a tough call for Wendy. It's a tough situation because she's got an ace and she has position, so I expect her to call.
Wendy's going to make the call.
And she does. So she's going to play her position here, But this is never comfortable. When you've been 3-bet and you have ace rag, even though you have position, it's not a comfortable position to be in. But look at how comfortable she is. She's ready to go. She's ready to go to war. She says, I have position. I have the chip stack to do it. Come on, buddy. I'll take you on. Let's go to the flop.
All right, pocket sixes going up against Wendy's ace 5. And the flop is queen 10-4, a couple of hearts.
This is the danger with a small pair like this is a lot of times you're going to face overcards on the flop, which makes it dicey, especially in a 3-bet pot. So he checks. Now, Wendy should leverage here. When her opponent shows weakness, go ahead and make that bet. It's gut check time. Come on. Just fire a bet of $600,000. If he calls you, comes over the top, you can get rid of it. Oh, she does. That a girl. Nice bet. Way to leverage your position. So important position in poker to respond to your opponent's actions. You know, when they show weakness, don't be afraid to show some strength even when you don't have much. That's the time to really put it out there and put your opponent to the test.
Action on Paul here to make the call, and he's going to fold. So good play there by Wendy. Yeah. She's going to take down this pot and try to even up the match as far as her and Paul. You know, and I'm sure they're both keeping track in their mind, obviously.
We can't forget about Mark, too.
Well, yeah, but
Double
these two,
M, Mark Morris.
Right, yeah, and it's kind of coincidental here. Mark Morris is good friends with last week's episode winner, talking about Jake Bumgarner. These guys are buddies, so it could go back-to-back here on the HPT. Good friends winning titles. Why doesn't this ever happen to you and I?
Well, you know, I keep trying to get you into these tournaments, James, but you're so busy with your radio show. You got that new bar opening up. Man, you're a wine-em-dine-em guy. It's hard to get you out there onto the felt.
My favorite spot, though, is right up here in the bird's nest, if you will, having this view from our blimp. All right, so Paul raises to $315,000. Wendy makes the call. We go to the flop. It's a jack and 2 9s.
Yeah, well, Wendy, very liberal in defending her blind. I don't blame her. I'd like to have it suited more on the defense, but 3-handed, you're going to have to defend a lot of blinds. She could wrestle this pot away now, especially now. You see the difference here? Wendy checked to Paul, but Paul did not leverage his position in bet there and allows Wendy to escape on the turn here. And now he's going to bet when he has the worst hand. Wendy's certainly going to call this, I would think, here to defend her equity in the hand now that she's improved to 2-pair.
And right now she does have the best of it here with 9s and 6s. You see Paul hoping to catch a king, a queen, but he's also got a gutter draw there with any 10.
Yeah, well, that's a difference, though. He's playing on hope when he really should have been leveraging his position to win this pot.
And the river card, a meaningless deuce of hearts. So now Paul's left with king high. Wendy's going to check.
Yeah, this should go check, unless I think this is going to be a hopeless river bluff, especially with spades out there, missed spades. Wendy sniffed this out and paid off, so he is smart to shut down on the river, and Wendy's going to take home a nice pot once again.
Slowly whittling Paul down here, you know, to the point of probably, you know, a decision where he's going to have to either fold or get these all in the middle to try to double up and keep his tournament hopes alive.
Well, he's comfortable doing that. As you can see, he's doubled up every time he's done it. We can't forget about this man, Mark Morris. He's quietly sitting back. Remember the difference between third and second. Almost $40,000. So there's nothing wrong. And we got to mention, you know, there's a lot of skill in being patient and sitting back and letting the other guy bust out so you can move up that pay ladder.
Look at this, Paul now with pocket 7s. 7s have been really sticky here towards the final end of this HPT final table. And, yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. Paul's going to get all his chips in the middle. Wendy has to make the call with ace-queen. It comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Can he do it again? Can this hand hold up and double up? We'll see.
For the 5th time, 6th time, 7th. How many times is it? I don't know. But Mark Morris is sitting back, waiting, hope it's not this time so I can move up and guarantee myself second place.
All right, to the flop we go. 2 5s and a jack. So far, so good for Mr. Paul.
Yep. Wendy needing an ace or a queen to eliminate Paul.
And the turn card is the king of hearts. So now Wendy can catch an ace, a queen, or a 10 to win this hand and eliminate Paul.
Can she do it? Not so far tonight. To the river we go.
And it's the Queen of Hearts. So it's not going to work out this time for Paul, but we got to give credit where credit is due. A nice run for him, and he's going home with third place money, almost $68,000.
Well, congratulations to our third place finisher, Paul Richardson. He was kind of a thorn in Wendy's side all night long, or the gum on the shoe, as you like to say. She finally shook him off, and now it's time for heads-up play.
But Paul's got to be very happy. He turned $1,650 into almost $68,000. And when we come back, it's time for Heads Up Poker right here on the HPT.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Heads Up Poker here on the HPT. It's Wendy taking on Mark, and you see the chip counts. Wendy ahead about 2-1.
Yeah, as we play, these blind levels are high, so as we said, anything can happen. But Mark has shrewdly kind of laid back. He's guaranteed himself second place now, and now hopefully he's going to turn it up a notch and make a play for this championship.
All right, let's go to the flop. Queen 4 at 9-5, and it comes out Queen 10-4. So Wendy, once again, with the best of it there on the flop, she flops 2 pair.
Yeah, now Mark is going to continue with his bluff story here. Raised pre-flop with the 9-5, continuing on the flop. Wendy's going to have none of it. The reason I think she's raising is she wants to protect the value of her hand versus straight and flush draws. Also, in case Mark has a really big hand like, ace, queen, or kings, she might be able to get it all in right there, but not to be.
Talking experience here on the HPT as far as Mark goes, over 100,000 in total career winnings. This is his first HPT cash. And Wendy, she's got almost $1 million in total career earnings, and she has final tabled before, 4th place back in Fresno, California. And look at this, pocket kings raises to 350,000 chips. And now Mark is all in with pocket 8s. And ladies and gentlemen, she has led wire to wire at this HPT final table, and now she is just 5 cards away from being our newest champion.
And a great position to do so as an 80-20 favorite. Significant. Let's go to the flop.
Pocket kings, pocket 8s, here we go. Oh, look at that. So you see the 8 first, just to give Mark a little hope. Right behind the 8 was the king of diamonds. Both players flop a set.
Like I say, the hope of dope. The deck gives you hope, and just that quickly, it snatches it away again.
All right, well, let's try this again with the turn card here. And we go to that card now. It's the 5 of spades, so both players with a full house.
Yeah, but Mark with the lower boat. Looking more like the Titanic. Unless the miracle 8 could come on the river, he will be sunk, finishing in second place. To the river we go.
And it's the ace of clubs. And it's all over, ladies and gentlemen. Wendy Freedman is your newest HPT champion. But congratulations to Mark Morris. A nice payday, a 6-figure payday for his second place finish.
Congratulations to Mark Morris, our second place finisher. Wow, navigating this tough, big field here in Black Hawk, Colorado. Took it almost to the finish line, just coming up a little bit short, James.
He may have been a little short on the championship, but he's going home with over $102,000, and he's tableside right now with our tournament director, Mr. Jeremy Smith.
Now, Mark, tell me about that last hand. That was a big one there.
Well, we got heads up, and she had me outshipped 2.5 to 1. And I thought maybe I could get a double up, just flip that around. And I guess the way it played out didn't really matter because we both flop a set, so it would have played out the same way regardless of whether we get it in pre or get it in post. So I guess I'm kind of glad that happened that way, so I don't feel so bad about getting 8s in pre-flop, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you played great throughout the day. Started second in chips, finishing second. Played great. You're still leaving with $102,000 in cash. What's your plans for the money?
Probably invest it, have a little bit of fun, play some more poker tournaments with it.
All right, once again, congratulations to Mark going out in second place. And in poker, there can only be one champion. And this week, it's Wendy Freedman. She's going home with the title, the bragging rights, and most importantly, all that cash.
I gotta say, I play a lot of poker with Wendy in Las Vegas. She's a deserving champion. She's paid her dues, and now they've come home. Congratulations, Wendy. Well done.
Only one thing left for you, Wendy, and that's your championship interview right now with Jeremy Smith.
You played great throughout the day. Now you started this final table first in chips. A lot of great competition. At what point today or yesterday did you say to yourself you were going to win this event?
I only ever said I was going to try as hard as I could. You know, a lot of stuff can happen in poker tournaments, so I'm glad I could pull it off.
You played great throughout the day. You're still walking away with almost $168,000 in cash. What's your plans for the money?
What he said.
What he said? Invested? Anything else? Other poker tournaments?
Yeah, well, I will be playing poker tournaments for sure. You know, life expenses, stuff like that.
There you have it, our new HPT champion, Wendy Freedman. Back to you guys.
Well, there you go, our newest HPT champion, Wendy Freedman, going home with almost $168,000. Really, for any poker player, that's a dream come true.
Yeah, you don't wake up to reality until you see a line of people with their hand out saying, hey, you got 100, you got 100, you got 20.
Right. Speaking of that, you got 100? All right, we want to thank our entire staff here on the HPT, as well as everybody at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor. Now, if you think you have what it takes to play right here on the HPT, why not give it a shot? All you have to do is look at HPTpoker.com, find a city and a date that will work for you. And who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the life-changing cash. For Kenneth James, I'm James Larson, and we'll see you next time right here on the HPT.